This episode is sponsored by artexhibit.com. Showcase your work, connect with the art industry, and build your own art store with zero investment. Artexhibit.com, built to create.
All right. I'm the Painted Lady, and I'm here with the beautiful Miss Susie Silva. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Okay, I'm obsessed because you have this superhuman feel of realism and nature in your work, and I am in awe. It is just gorgeous.
Thank you.
And my favorite piece, I'm sorry, I'm just going to brag about you for a second, is your Frida done in charcoal on your page. I love it so much.
I need to do more charcoal.
Oh, yes, please.
It's
It's
my
so
goal.
beautiful. I love it. So walk me through your piece you did for the show.
Yeah. By the way, I never thought that I would be painting on a guitar body, so that in and of itself was a huge challenge, I feel like. But my piece is inspired by a song called Mariposa Traicionera by the Mexican rock band Maná.
I love Maná.
Yeah, I've been a lifelong fan of the band and of the song, and so the song is essentially about it draws the metaphor of the butterfly to represent like a treacherous lover and an unfaithful lover. And I knew right away when I had this opportunity to paint on this guitar body that's the song that I wanted to draw inspiration from. But then I needed to sort of think of another way to add, or I wanted to add a figurative element just because it's more representational of my work. And then that's where the idea came to incorporate the hand holding the 3 Lotería cards. And the Lotería cards themselves were chosen very intentionally just because of symbolism that I thought was important to me. But then once I do the reveal, or if people come and see it, they can
They just have to come
draw their own inspiration
to
and, leave that up to the audience to draw for interpretation for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's gorgeous. You have to wait. You have to listen to the rest till before we turn it around. Okay. You just have to wait. So you've worked with charcoal, you've done the painting and things like that. So what was your first medium? Did you start with charcoal or?
No, charcoal charcoal can be very finicky, and I feel like a lot of people are really scared to do charcoal. Myself included. It's hard to control.
You can't clean up the mistakes.
Yeah, no. Once you make a mark, especially if it's a hard mark, it's hard to get rid of it. So I start way back when I started doing art, I started with acrylic paint.
Okay.
And I always felt like that was the safe choice because it was, low risk and it dried really fast. But for the realist work that I do, it ended up being a hindrance. And so then that's when I decided to move to oil paint. And I was really scared to try it. But once I tried oil paint, there's no looking back. And I absolutely love working with it. And now I want to dive into also incorporating, doing more charcoal drawings and studies. But oil's still my safe space. So that's where I tend to stay.
Well, you do a great job with it.
Thank you.
Stick with it. So when you were younger, when did you start out? How old were you when you started?
Gosh. I can't exactly remember, pinpoint it, but I have very vivid and salient memories of always sitting at our dining room table with a late aunt of mine, and she was also an artist. And so she would always, she would help us with homework, and after we were done doing that, she would always break out her sketchbooks and she would sort of draw alongside us. So she was always very encouraging of us to be artistically expressive. And so, I would start with crayons and markers and all of that. And then eventually she got me my first little set of paints. And so that was a big thing, to really feel like an artist. So yeah, I can't really pinpoint an exact moment. I have always just been drawn to it. Yeah, I've been drawn to art specifically because of her. So.
Did you take all the art classes in high school and things like that, and then just did you do it in college? What moved into? What were your steps?
None, actually. I didn't.
She's I was just good out the gate. We're good.
No formal education, no art classes. I would call myself an orchestra nerd. I grew up playing the violin.
I love
and
that,
so that was always, and I loved it. And so that was
play?
Just no, not anymore. It's been a couple years, and I tried to take it up 3 years ago, and I'm this is it's not like riding a bike. So but those were always my extracurriculars, was orchestra, and I loved it. And so I never really had time in my school schedule to take art classes. And then when it came time to apply for colleges, I did apply to a couple of art schools, but then I think I just sort of felt scared to take that leap to pursuing that academically and professionally. And so instead I went to school and got my degree in psychology, which I still loved doing too. A lot of like the idea and practice and study of psychology and human emotion and all those nuances of behavior and perception do drive my creative practice still. And so I think it's been a neat way into now. I don't do that anymore. I used to, study psychology, and then I was a teacher. I left that because I wanted to pursue art full time. And so I still find myself drawing inspiration from, my studies and my experiences. So it doesn't feel like a total loss.
It's wild you talk about psychology, because I was going to ask you, like, what message or feeling do you hope people get from your work?
I think a lot of my work is rooted in memory and emotional inquiry. And part of it, like I said, is because I did study psychology and I am very fascinated by it and human emotion and perception. But I think another part of it too is that I feel like I've always had this deep enchantment with nostalgia and sort of like this desire to keep stories of, my family especially, or friends, loved ones, people that I meet, interesting people that I meet, to keep their stories alive. And so I feel that that's definitely what fuels my artwork and my creative practice is people.
Oh, I love that. Is there a piece you've created that feels especially personal to you?
Yes. I painted a piece last year that is called Reencuentro. And I debuted it last fall at a show called El Velorio, which is about the Day of the Dead. And usually my work was really heavily based on like personal commissions. So I hadn't really taken the time to do a personal piece that I wanted to do. And that was one of my first ones. And it was a very cathartic experience, because a lot of it was inspired by this late aunt that I was talking about, that she was the reason that I sort of, fell in love with art itself. And so it was sort of like an homage piece to her. And I was very proud of it, and I took it to the show, and I won best in show that night with the group show. And it was obviously a huge win, but it was more like a personal win, because I'm like, I can do this. Like, I feel like I constantly question myself whether it's the right thing to do, to pursue this full time, because sometimes it feels very selfish. But it was very affirming, to have that experience and to sort of have that accolade along with that piece. So that piece definitely is my favorite piece to date. And then through Exhibit 2, I was able to show it at some of the art walks that happened, I think in November or December. So, and a lot of people resonated with it. And that's truly what means the world to me, is that because it's so personal to me, that people connect with it in a personal way too.
Well, and I feel like you having that personal connection, that piece, I feel like that probably pushed out in your art, and people can resonate with that.
Totally. The amount of people that I had at that show, or even in the artwork here in Fullerton, or that have seen it online, or, that's like, somebody went to the show and they saw it there and have come back and feel very comfortable being so vulnerable. Like, I don't take that for granted, that people open up to me about, like there was a young lady that dressed up as a Katrina at the Velorio show. And we were sort of talking about the piece, and she got emotional, and she's like, this piece reminds me of my dad. And like to hear those stories from so many people that connected with that piece, and that are so willing to be so vulnerable and open with me and share that. And I'm a total stranger to them. We've never met. I don't take that for granted. That's really special to me. So I feel like that's the point. That's what I want my art to be. I don't care about, it's nice to like have the awards and the accolades and all of this, but again, because my work is so rooted in human connection, that's important to me.
Honestly, art that brings out that emotion, that connection, it's just, something that you
that's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, we found this common ground. It doesn't matter, like, who made it, how it got, it's just that connects all of us as humans. It's beautiful. Do you feel like there's reoccurring themes or like symbols in your work?
I think to start out, definitely symbols of, or themes of love and loss, and how I think for a very long time I was very caught up with the idea that grief is just like sadness, but it's really not. I feel like it's a celebration of so many other things, and especially like emotions. So it can be so complicated, but it's not just rooted in sadness. It's also rooted in, in tradition and love, in memories, good ones, and even sometimes the bad ones. They're not so bad. It really does remind us that we're human, and that, just as much as like paint ebb and flows and pushes and pulls, so does life, and so does grief. So yeah.
It's like our inevitable story. So we
Yeah.
kind of have to embrace it and figure
Absolutely.
out how to get through it. Do you prefer people interpret your art freely or understand like the intended meaning of it?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think freely. I would hope freely. I feel like some of the themes in my work currently I'm trying to find this like delicate balance of not being so overtly like intentional about, themes, because I want people to be able to sort of interpret what they see for themselves and not sort of shove it in their face. So it's sort of like a delicate little dance still that I'm trying to, figure out. But I would hope, like with the Lotería cards, as I was saying, even though they have a very personal an intentional meaning and symbolism to me, I'd rather just leave it at that and then sort of have people interpret it their own way and see what
I guess we'll show them, right? Well, I guess we'll show them. I guess you can see, but you have to come Saturday, okay?
Yes, please.
It's just gorgeous. So you chose the 3 cards. Can you talk a little bit about each one of the cards?
Yes.
And let people know. For those people that have never played the game, which go get yourself a deck of Please Play the Game.
Yeah, it's at least for in Mexican households, it's always.
Oh yeah, you've got the game in your cabinet.
Yeah, we have it all over the place in various sizes. So the 3 cards that I chose was the Sirena, the El Corazón, and the Escorpión. I think it is.
Madam.
Yeah.
You don't know? Pop quiz.
El Alacrán. Well, call it an Escorpión. El Alacrán.
Yes.
That's what it is. So those were the 3 that I chose. And at least for El Corazón, there was like a small change that I made to it. Usually it's being pierced by an arrow. But because of the song and the metaphor of the butterfly being like treacherous and unfaithful, and, having the guy having a broken heart, I instead replaced the arrow with a dagger. And so I'm like, that's just a little something, a little flair that I wanted to add for myself. So
I love it. It's beautiful. You did a fabulous
Thank
job. So in your mediums, I know you said you want to do more in charcoal and you've got your acrylic and oils and things like that. Is there something that you're like really working towards working with, or are you like, no, I'm good?
As of right now, I'm good. It's like I said, charcoal is the one that I want to explore more in depth, because it's just with oil paint, I mean, you have all the ranges and colors, I guess, that you can choose from. But with charcoal, it's like you really have to master that one piece of material to be able to drive all your decisions and make, this range of tonal values, and very, very deep, very, very dark, very, very light. So I feel like that's challenging of itself. And so I'm good with that. I don't want to add more stuff.
Just like I'm all set.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Is there so besides Saturday, do you have things on the horizon coming up for you?
Yeah, the next show that I'm going to be a part of is for a show called La Bulla, which is centered around lucha libre culture.
Okay.
That's going to be in May, I think May 16th in LA through the Antonio Pelayo Productions that also put the El Velorio show, and it's going to be at Super Chief Gallery. So I'm painting a panel that's etched with the with sort of like the figure of Lucha Libre mask, and it's paying homage to El Santo. And so I'm working on that piece currently. I need to speed up and get it done. But yeah, that's coming up, and then a couple of other opportunities later in the fall that I still have to finalize. But
I love it. So, what is one thing you would tell yourself as a little girl, like starting out in art, like little stones of wisdom?
Oh man, I think I would tell myself to be a little bit more selfish, and to maybe let go of, to not be so dragged down by my idea of other people's expectations about me. I think being like an older daughter in a Mexican household of like Mexican immigrant parents, we have this like idea that you have to be a certain thing. Like I felt like not because my parents told me that I couldn't, but I felt like I couldn't pursue art, even though they constantly told me, no, do that. Like, that's what makes you happy, do that. So I think I would tell myself to, you know, let go of that, the pressures that I put on myself of like other people's or even societal expectations, you know, of me.
Just like expectation of success. Like
Yes.
you have to, you know, be at this
Right.
level.
Of course. I mean, I'm doing this now full time and I've never felt so successful in my life. And so I think that's a testament to that it's true. You know, once you let go of the weight of all of that and literally just do you.
Yeah. Being
Good
true
things,
to your
being true to yourself.
self.
Good things come along the way. So
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Random off the cuff question. What is your favorite scary movie, Maná? You know it was coming. You knew it was
I
coming.
knew it was coming. And I'm actually
And if you don't like scary movies, that's okay.
I
Just
don't
tell me
like
your
scary
favorite
movies,
movie.
but I have a funny story about this. My best friends have like a scary movie club, and they did like throughout college.
I love it.
And I just never want to go to it because I'm like, no, guys, I don't like scary movies. I don't want to do this. And so they sort of forced me into it. But the initiation was, this was when like It 2 came out.
Yes.
And I was like, I have like this fear of clowns, literally. So this is terrible. This
You're
is a
not
terrible
alone.
initiation. They're like, you need to watch the first one. I'm like, okay. And so I watched the first one on the brightest day, on the sunniest day, in the middle of the day, all the windows open, all the lights on. And I got through it, and then we went to go see the other one. But then, so I sort of fell into liking them a little bit more. I like more psychological thrillers.
Same.
So
Same.
I would say my favorite one then is Midsummer, the one with Florence Pugh.
Oh, that's freaky too.
That one wrecked me. That
the end,
was
I'm just like,
unexpected.
What did I just watch?
Yes, and it feels like it could be true. Like you feel like you could be lured into
so
your
twisted.
friends being
So
like,
twisted.
Let's take a trip wherever so you can meet my friends. Cool. I'm not going to say no.
You're like,
And
what
then
did I
you
get
show up
myself
and-
into?
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, that was my favorite one.
I think that too, like stuff that could really happen. You're just like, okay, this is creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
So where can we find you, Miss Susie?
On Instagram at Susie Silva Creative, and Susie is SUSIE.
Lovely. It was so nice to meet you, and
so
thank you
nice
so
to-
much for taking me through your journey and letting us share your guitar with us. And we will see you Saturday.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Okay, I look forward to seeing what you're creating in the future. I want to see more charcoal. I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Okay, sounds good. I will do it just for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.